Hey, what's going on, guys? Marvin here. Welcome back to another video. So I knew if I uploaded enough Amazon related content, I would get the attention of the big man himself, Jeff Bezos. Richest man on earth. Subscribe to the channel. Trying to be incognito with the Jeff B, but we caught him. So if the richest man on earth is subscribed to the channel, why aren't you guys subscribing? Now that you hit that subscribe button, let's get into the topic of this video. So this is going to be another Amazon wholesale tips video, and we're going to be talking about map pricing. We're going to be talking about buying wholesale lists and directories, my opinions about them, and then we're going to be talking about getting on the same listing as Amazon, how you should compete with Amazon, and everything that you need to know about how Amazon operates when it comes to listings and buy boxes and sharing buy boxes and all that stuff, which is going to have information that you haven't heard about before because I actually did some test buys to see how Amazon is going to respond when certain sellers come onto the listing. But let's get started. So if you are doing the wholesale business model like me, then you will eventually run into a manufacturer that wants you to sign up for MAP. MAP is minimum advertised price, and it is just an agreement between you and the manufacturer saying that you will not go below the minimum advertised price that you guys agree upon or the manufacturer sets. So for example, let's say it's $19.99. You will not go under $19.99 on any listing that you're selling for that manufacturer or for that product. So either your manufacturer will ask you to sign this MAP agreement if you want to work with them, or your distributor will tell you if you want to have this product, then you need to sign a MAP agreement. Now, certain distributors will push the MAP as a selling point. They're going to tell you that your profits are guaranteed because nobody is going to go below MAP, because the brand enforces MAP and all of these different things telling you that each month in and out, you will get the same profit at the minimum, right? If the price goes up, you'll get more, but you will not lose on the product because it has MAP pricing. Now, in an ideal world, this is fantastic, right? We don't go below that price and the other sellers don't go below that price. If Amazon gets on it, they don't go below the price. And if the manufacturer happens to be on that listing, they don't go under the price. But we don't sell in an ideal world, and Amazon's still very much like the wild, wild west when it comes to these things. So the problems that you're gonna run into with MAP pricing is that nobody follows it. You're gonna run into a listing that you agreed to a MAP policy, but no other seller is following the MAP policy. So all the prices are completely plummeting. That's why it's always important to check the keeper graph over an extended period of time and look to see if everybody is following the MAP pricing and the price is staying steady. Because if you sign a MAP agreement and then everybody's plummeting that price, you're either gonna have to break that MAP agreement and hope that the brand is going to enforce the MAP policy, or your distributor is going to enforce MAP policy, because sometimes you will run into a manufacturer that is also on the listing and allows you to sell on that listing besides them as long as you abide by the MAP policy. The only problem in this scenario is that the brand themselves don't abide by the MAP policy. So how are you supposed to win in this scenario? So if you do run into a manufacturer that does enforce it and is very strict on a MAP policy, then now we're talking, right? But if nobody is following it and the brand isn't following it, then you have a lot of problems here. Also, Amazon doesn't follow MAP. Amazon does whatever the hell they want because we are in their playground. So keep that in mind. They're not going to follow MAP whatsoever. All right, so the second tip is buying a wholesale list or paying a subscription to be on a certain directory that has all of the brands, all of the manufacturers, and all of the distributors that you could ever dream for. Or getting a supplier from this guy who keeps spamming my comment section. Little common sense, guys. If this guy's spamming a comment section in a YouTube video, chances are he's not going to have a good supplier, and it's not going to be somebody you want to be dealing with. But the way I look at these topics as far as buying a list, getting on a directory, anything like that, is that if it's so easy to get your hands on it, everybody's going to have their hands on it. Everybody's already looked at that list. Everybody's already contacted those suppliers. So those suppliers either aren't going to be good, or they're going to bump their prices up to meet the demand. So you don't want to go the easy route. You need to get that out of your head. If there's low barrier of entry and it's so easy to get your hands on it, everybody's already gotten their hands on it. So you want to go a different route. Now, I'm not saying that directories aren't going to have good suppliers, but I'm just telling you that it's so easy for anybody to just jump on that directory and just be scanning supplier after supplier. Everybody's already doing that. Everybody's already going that route, which means it's going to be less profitable for you to go that route. If everybody's doing something, do the opposite. Okay, go a different route. Find a different way. Find the harder route of finding a supplier, because that's going to be the way that you find those profitable suppliers. All right, so now competing against Amazon. There are certain ways that you can compete with Amazon, and I compete with Amazon quite a bit. And like I said, I have done my own experiments, my own test buys with certain products to get on the listing with Amazon to see how they operate. So if you run into a keeper graph that looks like this, then they are allowing you to undercut them on price. They have a certain price that they want to stay at, and if you undercut them by even a cent, they will allow you to have the buy box. So in this scenario, yes, you can jump on the listing and get some sales by undercutting them. But I don't recommend you undercut them. I don't recommend you undercut anybody. You want to share the buy box at the most profitable place that it can be at. If everybody gets into the race on the bottom, yeah, you're going to be getting the majority of the sales, but you're getting sales that are less profitable. Just because you see your account sales numbers go up doesn't mean your profit numbers are going up. And we don't care about sales numbers, we care about profit. So keep that in mind. But if you get a keeper graph that looks like this, and you see that Amazon and the third party are sharing the buy box because the price is steady, Amazon and this third party have the exact same price, and Amazon is allowing them to get the buy box, as you can see in the pink box here. Okay, so if you get a list like this, and this is an extended period of time, if Amazon's done this one time, then I wouldn't get on there. But if over the course of the last year, they have done this multiple times, or they have allowed multiple people to undercut them over the course of the year, then I would get on it. And it's a pretty safe bet to compete against Amazon. But with that in mind, they can do whatever they want. Always keep that in mind. But following these steps, I have only lost out on one product where Amazon has shown that they do share the buy box and then they change their mind or whatever they do. And then I got no sales, even though we were at the same price and even though I was trying to undercut them a little bit. Now, if you run into a keeper graph that looks like this, Amazon is chasing you, chasing every third-party seller to whatever price they're on, and they're not allowing anybody to get any of the sales, because if you drop the price, they'll drop the price. If you increase the price, they'll increase the price. They're following the most profitable route to get all of the sales. Do not jump on a listing like this. Now, the popular word around the Amazon FBA niche, especially on YouTube, is don't get in bed with Amazon. If Amazon's on the listing, stay away from them. I just showed you two different ways that you can sell on Amazon against them, but if you run into a keeper graph that looks like this, and Amazon is completely taking over the entire listing and it shows that nobody else is getting any sales, commonly people are going to think Amazon is not going to share the buy box here, right? So that's where I did a test buy to see how Amazon operates when somebody does jump in this particular scenario. So what I found is that Amazon for the last year didn't share the buy box once when they had inventory. Not one time did the keeper graph show that a third party came in and took the buy box from them. So I did a small test order to just confirm this theory, because I was seeing a lot of different sellers selling against Amazon on a lot of products that they had. And what I found was that even though they didn't share the buy box on the keeper graph, they were sharing the buy box with me anyway. I sold out within a week, and it was just a proof of concept that some listings Amazon is really unpredictable at the end of the day, because they didn't show that I was getting the buy box, but I definitely was getting the buy box because I was selling out, and I sold out within a week. Now, am I telling you to jump on a listing that looks like this? Absolutely not. What I learned was that Amazon is unpredictable. They can come and go and do whatever they want at any given time. And with that particular keeper graph that I just showed you, even though it said that they weren't sharing the buy box, I was still getting a lot of sales. Now, am I going to go replenish that product? Absolutely not. Absolutely not, because Amazon can do whatever they want, and I'd rather go with a more sure thing like the first two examples that I showed you. So in certain situations, you still can compete with Amazon, even though they're showing that they're giving the third party no sales. But is it something I would rely on? Absolutely not, and it is not something I recommend you do. Stick to the first two examples that I gave you for the keeper graph and seeing if you want to jump in. And then the second two examples, I would not jump in bed with Amazon, because chances are you're going to lose out on those products. So now that you understand those tips, if you want a step-by-step guide as far as Amazon wholesale goes, selling on Amazon, selling these major brands, then you're going to want to watch the video on the screen where I break everything down step by step for all of you guys that are watching. And if you want to cut your learning curve in half, if not less of the time, then I do have a course taking you from step A to step Z and everything in between that you need to know about wholesale on Amazon and selling these major brands. And that's the first link down below. And there's still a discount code down below. So if you still want to save that $100 on the initial launch week, and that's going to end at midnight on Sunday. So if you want to get in, then you need to get in now.